Hey, welcome back to the Yarnquisitions Knitting Podcast, where we do fiber art, knitting, crocheting, yarny type things. I'm Victoria. You can call me Vic or Celine, which is the name of this channel. And it's a pretty nice day today. No clouds, but it was cloudy this morning. It's been like that for several days now, where it's cloudy in the morning and then it clears up and it's a blue sky day. And because of that, I'm thinking we're nearing spring, summer. In coastal California, it kind of goes together, hand in hand. Spring is like a month and then it goes straight into summer. But it's pretty early too, because it's the end of March, gonna be early April, where spring is starting, and spring equinox has already passed since the last episode. I think it was even after or before that. But I don't keep track of that stuff because it kind of feels the same. So yeah, we're in like the 70s Fahrenheit now, and because of that, I've been working on spring knitting stuff or summer knitting things, because it's gonna be too late when I actually need it if I start it in the summer. So I'm gonna start with what I'm wearing. I finished it like at the beginning of the week, and then the next day I had to redo the straps because it was way too long, and I underestimated how short the straps need to be to fit, just to fit me, because it would be like way too low, like way below, like my bra would be showing, and that's like not the look I'm going for. So I fixed it, but I don't know how long it would be after washing, because I haven't washed it yet, typical me. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too much longer, because I know I'd have to redo it, and that's also why I haven't cut the strings off yet, because and I haven't woven it in all the way either, or the ends, because I'm afraid that if I do, I can't find it anymore, or it'd be like super hard to like take out the ends, because this is Bourette silk and not like mulberry silk or like super silky silk, because it has a lot of texture, because it's made up of many strands, or like the lengths are short, like really short compared to regular silk or high grade silk. So then like it would like catch on each other, which is good if you're knitting stuff with it, but it's not good if you need to undo things. But it's not hairy either, so it's not as crazy as mohair, like silk mohair. It's not as crazy as that, but it's definitely not as smooth as wool, and not as smooth as like any other thing. And it's my first time knitting with silk, so it's kind of a learning curve. You have to like consider that silk doesn't stretch at all, really. But I think this stretches a little bit. I mean, the yarn does just stretch a little bit. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's just because the yarn is so loosely plied, it can give a little And because this is knitted in like a rib pattern, but this is a broken rib pattern, not the regular rib, so then it can stretch a little too, like I guess a lot. It can stretch a lot like that. And it's pretty short, but it's supposed to lengthen a little bit, and the edge keeps rolling up because I haven't blocked it. Yeah, so it can roll up pretty easily. But hopefully after blocking, it'll be fine. Oh, and I'm wearing it with the skirt. And I'm still pretty itchy because of my eczema. And I put on a full face of makeup, but you probably can't tell. Because I didn't put that much on. It's just like foundation, eyeshadow, eyeliner, but you can't see it anyways because of my bangs. So there's that. And I still have a huge ass ball left. It's not as big as like a regular ball, but I also haven't used much of this either. But you definitely need 2 balls of this yarn, right? So it's like a third way used. So I can make another one, and I don't know what to do with this. I'm assuming there's like 100 meters at least, you know, because this is 250 meters, so there should be 125 meters still. I don't know what you can make with that, and I don't know what would suit silk. If anybody knows, let me know what I should do with this, because it feels weird to sell it because it's like I don't even know how much is in here, and I don't have something to weigh this. I don't have like a scale that can measure something this light. So if anybody have any ideas, let me know. And I also forgot that silk like creases like crazy. So if you like slouch just a little bit, the creases show on both sides. So you always have to like straighten it out like this. And then it's straightened, right? Or you could just steam block it or something. That'll usually get rid of any creases and stuff, but as you wear it, it will crease. So that's kind of like annoying. So I didn't consider that. I totally forgot that silk does that. And some polyester does too, so gotta watch out. And it's kind of cold actually still. So I'm gonna put on my champagne cardigan because I wear this all the time. I can't stop wearing it. Even though I messed up the neckband, button band, even though I messed it up a little bit, you know, I still wear it. It's so cozy and warm. Even though I'm itchy, I find that this is still okay, especially if I'm doing something like knitting, cooking, or something like that. I don't itch because my hands are busy. So the one old thing that I want to present today is this doily. Is this the right side? Which side is the right side? I don't know which side is the right side. I think it's this side. Okay, this side I think is the right side. It's like a denim heather blue color. And I tried to get this last year so I can finish a blanket because I need more in this color for the squares, and it was sold out last year in October, and I don't know why, like, it was sold out everywhere except Amazon, but it was like twice the price on Amazon. Like, and I ain't gonna buy that. This is acrylic, so I'm not gonna buy it for twice the price. They can get it at like Joann's, Michael's, like, no way. But yeah, it was sold out on Joann's and Michael's website. He couldn't get it in store, and the bane of my life. Like, why is this color so hard to get? Is it because it's discontinued? But it doesn't say that it's discontinued online. So I don't freaking know why it was sold out. And funnily enough, I don't even like this color that much, but because the other squares are in the same color, I just wanted to complete it. But alas, that whip is still in the closet. I literally haven't touched it since I pulled it out in October. To like, what do you call it? Just to see like if I can finish it. But alas, I can't finish that project. And this is like vintage pattern. I don't even know where I put this pattern because I didn't write it in that crochet notebook or the Rhodia notebook that I showed, the orange one, last episode. I don't know why I didn't put it in there, but I think I put it in one of my sketchbooks that I still have because, I don't know, I just need all my sketchbooks. So I don't like lose ideas, or so I don't lose vintage patterns like this. I think that's in one of those sketchbooks. I know I recently actually found the blanket pattern for it. But, and that's also a vintage pattern. It's like free somewhere online. That's how I found it as well. I think it was on someone's blog or something. Or maybe I copied it off of like someone's crocheted thing. I don't remember, honestly. But this for sure is a vintage pattern doily that I got off of someone's blog post. And it's sort of like a faux pineapple on the end. But yeah, it's super straightforward, super simple. Nothing too hard, but I just wanted to know like how big it would be if I did it in a worsted yarn. Because this is worsted acrylic. Yeah. I think it was by Karen. I'm not sure, actually. But thankfully, I did save one of the, what do you call it? The labels. So always save at least one if I like need more. So if I need more, I save the label. If I have an extra ball, I also save a label so I can wrap it around that ball so I remember what brand and what color it was. And I don't really care too much about the dye lot because it's usually similar enough, but I mean, I haven't really had any trouble yet, cross my fingers, with different dye lots so far. So yeah, I don't use this ever because it is acrylic and because it's in a color that is hard to match because none of my furniture is this color, and basically almost no flowers are in a similar color. At least the ones that I get, they're really not purple or blue. So I mean, it's hard to get a flower in this color anyways. Like, asking for the impossible here. I mean, what I mean when I'm matching flowers is so that I could put a vase on this, like on the dining table or something. That's what I mean. And then a bonus knit old thing. A bonus old thing. I need a better name for that, but I don't have one. This is a cardigan made by one of my grandma's friends. And where's this? The right side up. I don't know if you could see it that well because it's such a dark brown. But it's like a cardigan with like a folded neck, only at the neck, and then it like tapers to the buttons. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could just wear this for you. But it's like super cabled, and I think it also uses like some kind of honeycomb design. I'm not sure what kind of technique is used here, obviously, because I didn't make it. I was gifted this by my grandma from another grandma in the same like living space that she's in. It's like a living for old grandma or old people in Chinatown in San Francisco. So it's one of those places, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure it took a long time, but I don't wear it because I haven't had the heart to cut off this ribbon thing. Yeah, that's the only reason why I don't wear this is because of this part. And I don't want to cut it because I don't know what would happen if I cut it. Like, will it undo something, or is it separate from everything else? Like, I have no idea. So I'm a little scared to cut it. And I feel kind of bad because, you know, it was originally supposed to be there and it's not there. It's like, but yeah, I mean, it's not as scratchy now that I feel it again, but it's pretty scratchy on the skin. But yeah, I don't know what I should do. And it's already like too hot to wear this already. So that's only like a few months out of the year that I can wear this. So November, December, January, February, and part of March. So that's almost 5 months. So more like 4 months that I could actually wear, because part of October is also, no, part of November is also still kind of hot. So that's like a half month and a half month. So that's 5 months total. No, 4 months. December, January, February. 3 months for sure I can wear it. 2 months maybe, if it doesn't get too hot. But yeah, it's already too hot. Like, I don't think it's gonna cool down again that much. Maybe lowest is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, or at least during the day I can't wear this. But it doesn't get that cold at night either. I think the lowest is like somewhere in the 50s, high 50s. So yeah. And I think this is wool. It's like a little rustic wool, but I have no idea what kind of wool. And it pilled like kind of a lot actually. And I'm like, I've never even worn this, so there's no way that this is new. So it must be like a hand-me-down cardigan that that person that doesn't wear anymore or something. Because even though I think that the person who knitted this is still old, but I think she still knits because she doesn't have like really bad arthritis yet. So that's good. Gotta stay healthy enough to knit, right? But yeah, so it's been sitting in my closet for a few years already. I think I got this in, I want to say 2019 or 2018. I don't remember. Because before I moved, it was also sitting in the closet. Because in San Francisco, my bedroom was in a south-facing room. So it never got cold enough in that room to wear this like beast of a cardigan. Yeah. Unless it's at night in the middle of winter. But I'll be in my bed. I wouldn't be wearing a cardigan anyways. So, yeah. And I think most people in my family have like sensitive skin because my cousin also has pretty sensitive skin as well, and you know, I don't think I can really pass this off to anybody because it is kind of, I can't put this on like my bare skin. I have to like put this at least around the neck. I have to wear this like that, like open. I can't close it. Also, the buttons aren't my favorite either because it just reminds me of like the cheap buttons. I don't know, it's something about this red, brown, translucent thing that I don't like. I don't know. But that's just like, I can always change the buttons, of course. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but what would I do with these buttons? Like, I have no idea. But yeah, hopefully maybe I can wear that next winter. When I have the courage to cut the wraparound strap. And I actually thought it was knitted or double knitted, but it's actually not. It's a 1x1 rib, and then it gets scrunched together that it just lays. It looks like a double knitted thing. Wrap. Yeah. Everything fell on the floor, so I got picked up. Okay, that's enough of old things. So my new things, what I finished is a swatch. So this is a swatch of the mohair and 77% mohair, 30% alpaca, DK weight in the color ecru, and there's 460 meters in 150 grams. So 70% mohair, 30% alpaca. It's actually like kind of rough, but still softer than the Aztecs yarns. The one in was it fingering weight Einband or Einband. Yeah, it's definitely way softer than that. That shit was rough. Like, that's like, I don't even know what I could compare that to because it's so rough. It's like straw, I guess. It feels like straw, but it's like way more pliable than straw. But yeah, this is like way softer than that, but still it is scratchy. It's funnily enough, in my hand, it's like super soft, and on my like wrist or arm, it's like slightly scratchy, but not like it hurts prickly. It's just like, oh, it's there, kind of prickly. But then on my neck, it's like, it's like it really hurts prickly. Like, I don't understand why it's like that. So because of that, I don't even know if I want to use it in the Ingrid sweater, because that's a turtleneck, and I love the look of that turtleneck because it's like a little flared out, or not flared out, but like doesn't like choke your neck. It's just like a little roomy. Yeah, and I swatched it with both ballerina and cherry blossom. So the ballerina one is the moss stitch side, and then the cherry blossom is the 2x2 rib side. And there's a pearl in the middle, and yeah. But what's stopping me from using this as the Ingrid sweater also is because it doesn't really hold like the stitch that well when you do the yarn over and then you transition into a 2x2, because this is how the pattern is. Like, it goes from moss stitch to, or whatever stitch, and they have like 2 purl rows, and then there's a yarn over row, and then it goes straight into 2x2, and you can see that it like the knit widens, the knit stitches widen way too much compared to what the Ingrid sweater is supposed to look like. So that's also stopping me, because it's probably way too thin. Because even though this was sold as a DK weight, it's a very light DK, almost a fingering weight. Or I think it's the same width as a fingering weight yarn, so it's like not the right yarn to be using with this, unless I double it, but then I won't have enough yarn for that sweater if I double it. So yeah, choices. And then I'll talk about what my other option for the Ingrid sweater is later. Oh yeah, and I use this small cup for washing this, because I will wash this twice to see if it would soften up more. But yeah, it definitely doesn't soften up that much more. And the mohair does soften this as well, but my neck can't take that scratchy, prickly feeling. Like it literally hurts. It's so prickly that it hurts. Like, for me, or at least on my neck. Everywhere else, on like my stomach or like on my arms or the inner arms, is fine, but not my neck. So definitely a learning curve with this kind of yarn, because I thought the mohair would be soft, but it's not, or soft enough. So that's a little sad. So that's my finished swatch, not finished object. And I worked on this a little bit. It's the sweater number 9. Yeah, so I'm still on Sleeve Island. I'm still on the first one, and I just got to the first decrease row, like yesterday. So that took me like 2 weeks to do. But yeah, it's like kind of a big sleeve. But yeah, there's so many rows left to do, and I can't make myself knit. I can't keep making myself knit on it because I started another project after finishing this one. So yeah, I'm always like starting new projects now, even though I should finish this, and I want to wear it too because winter is basically over and it's spring. But at least I want to wear it for like at least a day or two before I can't anymore. Like literally can't, because it's gonna be 80 degrees and I don't want to sweat in this and like have it stick to me all over the place. I got some water instead of tea or milk tea because I've been waking up with a headache these days. Maybe because it's so dry. But yeah, I don't know why it's so dry these days. The humidity in the other room and this room is always around 40%. But every time I open the window, it always plummets to like 30. So I don't know what it is about this year that is making that apartment so dry. And I'm using, for sweater number 9, I'm using Simply Wool Worsted in their colorway Wendy, and it's undyed. And also using by knitpicks. Did I say it was by knitpicks? It is by knitpicks. Also by knitpicks, alpaca cloud lace weight in their color Charlotte. I probably won't get this again because it's more purple than pink. Yeah. And this is the project I started this week, and look at all the progress that I got on it. So much. And this is the Pavlova pullover by Knits on Instagram. She also, or her real name is Hannah Sandler. She sells her patterns on on Etsy and Ravelry, so you can buy wherever you want it, I guess. I bought it on Etsy because I already have an account there, and Ravelry is just like, they just never update it after 2009 or something. So yeah, I'm still working on the yoke. I think I have 3 or 4 increase rounds to go, or sequences. But yeah, I think it's a little smaller because my gauge is smaller by 2 stitches. So that means, so the gauge for this is 17 stitches and my gauge is 19 stitches. So that means I'm using more yarn, or not more yarn, but the outcome will be like slightly smaller, but not by too much. But I mean, the size or the pattern is oversized, so I've never really had a problem with oversized patterns because if your gauge is a little smaller, usually it would fluff up by when you wash it. But also like it's also like surprisingly stretchy, even though the 2 yarns I used are not stretchy, or at least not as stretchy as like a regular wool yarn is. Because look at that, so much stretch. But I think that's because of the fabric and like the pattern. It's like made up of slip stitches, and yeah. But it's kind of like easy color work because you don't really have to worry about too much about the floats, because you only slip 1 and not like a ton. And then the underside is so pretty because you see more of the contrast color. But I would never wear it the other way around, even though, I mean, technically I could, because my floats are so big for the raglans. But I think it would fit weird because it would like balloon out instead of like laying more flat. Lost a stitch. But because the yarn is so fluffy, like you can, if you like lose a stitch, it's easy to pick back up. But if you drop the stitch and the stitch is like all the way down here, I don't know what you would do to fix this. So hopefully you don't mess up, and you only mess up the row before because that's easy to fix, of course. I actually did mess up because the contrast color was like off by 1 for like a few stitches. I think for like 5 stitches or something. So I just had to like rip it back and then put it in the right place, so all the contrast color is all in the same column. But yeah, only messed up that one time, so it was pretty easy because it was only the previous row. But yeah, if you did mess up and you had to go all the way back. Oh yeah, and it also messed up in the beginning because it didn't switch from 3.75 to 4.5 millimeters. So I had to rip that back all the way to the knitted, no, even before that, until like the 2x2 rib, basically. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 9 completed sequences. I haven't even talked about the yarn that I chose for this. I think I actually mentioned it last episode, but this is the colourmart yarn in heavy DK weight alpaca merino remake. That's like the label they put on this. And the color is called Rosa Antico. It's made up of 17% alpaca, 58% merino, and 25% polyamide. It just says other on the label that they put inside the cone, but on their website it says 25% polyamide for strength. And it is really a sturdy yarn. You can tug on it and it won't break. I mean, unless you need to break the yarn. But I find that breaking the yarn with my hands really like stresses out my hands, and it makes it really red, and it hurts, so I don't do that. Whenever a pattern says to break the yarn, I cut it, because ain't nobody have time to spend like 5 minutes trying to break a very solid yarn like silk. It just hurts, and nobody likes that. Also looked up the colors that are left with this composition, and there's only like bright and dark colors left, and there's not enough in a cone for like a sweater. Of the grayish colors like this, or like the lighter beige colors, I think they have like 2 grays, but there's only like 1 or 2 left, so it's only enough as like a contrast color, but I don't know if this would be a good contrast color because of the thin quality of this yarn. Like, it goes from thick and then goes to thin, and the thin parts are like, sometimes it's like, it feels like lace weight thin, and then the thicker parts are like DK weight, so it varies a lot. But because it varies a lot, it can show more of the contrast color in this, so yeah, I do recommend it for this pattern because it won't be like too weird, and it makes it more varied compared to if you use like a very consistent yarn. And there's 370 meters for 150 grams. So I got 2. So it's 300 grams total. And it should be enough, or way more than enough, for this pattern, for this Pavlova pullover. And then I paired it with Knitting for Olive double soft merino, which is discontinued. And now that I'm working with this yarn, I'm kind of sad that it's discontinued because it's such a nice soft yarn. But the description that they have online about this yarn kind of scared me away from using this, because I think the description says that it's not a spun yarn, and yes, it's technically not a spun yarn, but it's also like a chain knit, but they don't say that. They said it's loosely stuck together, which is, I mean, kind of true, but it's more of a chained I-cord type yarn. So I don't know what's up with that description in English. Like, it's a little weird, and it does have a slight give, probably because it's 100% wool. But yeah, so it could be kind of thin and kind of thick. Hopefully with the washing it would like puff up a little bit, so the color will show more. But I'm not too mad at what it looks like right now. Like, it looks nice. But yeah, it's marketed as like a worsted weight yarn, and I do agree that it is a worsted weight, but if you stretch it, it's like slightly thinner. It's like DK worsted. And it's in the color rose. 110 meters per 50 grams. Excuse me. Yeah, 110 meters. That's like DK. But because it's so fluffy, it's basically worsted. But yeah, it's so so squishy. But yeah, I wish they had more colors on their website when they're or discontinuing it, because they had that discontinued sale, or they had a sale on double soft merino when they were discontinuing it. My nose is so congested right now. It's so hard to speak. Yeah. I wish I got more colors because I was about to get the beige as well, but it sold out before I could get it. And the rose, almost didn't get the rose either because there's only 2 left. So, yeah. I shouldn't have waited so long, honestly. So that was my second whip. And I think I can split for sleeves soon. Like, oh, but I don't know if I have enough. I think I do have enough, what do you call it? Cables to split for sleeves. Because I bought the Lika set, so that gave me a few extra cables to work with. Okay, 2 whips down, 1 swatch down. Oh yeah, and this is gonna be the second option for the Ingrid sweater by petiteknit. So this is my second option. I think I said so 2 episodes ago or something. And I think I have to revisit this again and like not undo the swatch. Cause yeah, I mean, the thread or the silk in this is really light, so it like looks like the white part in the flamingo double soft merino colorway. The flamingo, it just looks so similar, but the white thread in the double soft merino is white. I mean, what the fuck was I supposed to, what am I saying? Like, I don't know. The thread is white, and the fluffy part is a bright pink. But yeah, and this is more of a salmon-y color, but because the silk is so shiny, it reflects more white when you pair them together. So yeah, I think I have to make 2 swatches to see if I like it. Because I know this can hold stitches pretty well. They're really well defined. And this would fit the pattern way more because it's a thicker yarn. Especially when you compare it to the other one. It's like, the other one's just too thin. So, yeah. I keep you updated on my swatches for the Ingrid sweater. And Typical Bliss, Tiffany Liu, she just finished her Ingrid sweater. And you saw that she used 3 strands of one of a colourmart yarn, no wool. I don't really know what no means. Yeah, but it's a no wool. And it was kid silk mohair in like a beigey color, and Sunday by Sandler yarn. So that's expensive. That's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, I mean, I got this for less than $10 each, and I have 6. But I think you only need 5 for the size I'm making, X small. And I have 10 balls of this at 3.5 euros. So that's super cheap. Yeah. So that's like for $5, maybe more like $4, I think, each ball. So yeah, that's like way cheaper than that option. Or what? But yeah, because Sunday by Sandler's yarn is like so expensive compared to other yarns. But yeah, I mean like, for whatever reason, yarn in North America is so freaking expensive. It's always more than $10. And that's the minimum. It's more than $10 for like merino, mohair. Mohair starts at $12 usually. And $12 is cheap for mohair in the States. So that's kind of annoying unless you go to knitpicks. But that mohair has such limited color options that I just don't even bother checking it anymore on the knitpicks website because the options are so, they're just not a lot. And I find that knitpicks just discontinues the colors like every season, and you know, that's not okay with me because I need my color options, especially in pink, beige colors. You know, I need those pinks, man, because that's my color. And beige is always like a safe color because ain't nobody look bad in beige. Like, no one looks bad in beige, literally. Tell me a person who looks bad in beige. And then I'm gonna talk about my plans for summer knitting, spring knitting. I don't know what you call it because spring and summer in California it's kind of the same. I don't know. But if you're more inland, there's a stark difference. Because if you're in Tahoe, winter is winter. Like, it has snow and everything. And then, like, a snowy wonderland, you know. But, and then in the spring, you can, like, visibly see things start waking up. But here, things start waking up in winter. So, that's the biggest difference. So, yeah, I mean, actually, we were supposed to get rain today and tomorrow and Monday, but it's so bright. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get rain today or tomorrow. Maybe it was supposed to be in the morning or something, but yeah. But maybe it'll rain on Monday. There's still hope for rain because, you know, Californians need it. So my plans for summer knitting is the Olive Top by KFO in their pure silk. Oh yeah, did I say that I knit this in not my regular Portuguese style knitting, but I knit it in English style where you throw the yarn with your right hand. So, I don't know what's up with me, but that's what I chose. Maybe because it's such a tiny thread. Oh, sorry for all the rustling. It's the Ziplocs that I use because I have so much of them. And I gotta get ahead of all the moths that come out, or all the bugs that come out during summer. So, yeah, that's why they're in bags now. Or at least the stuff I'm not working on. But yeah, this is pure silk and rhubarb juice. Such a nice pink color. Hopefully it will match. It would look, I mean, I know it doesn't match, but I hope it would look good with my other pink clothes for the summer, because I had to throw one away because for some reason the washing machine like ruined it this year or last year, and I've had it for several years, but the washing machine never ruined it. all these years, but yeah, last year the washing machine kind of scratched it up. Also, and it ruined 2 shirts that are like the same material. It's like a polyester that I only wear in summer. So yeah, those summer clothes are tossed. Well, I tossed the pink one because it was more apparent, but the black one is like, you can't really see it that much unless you look really close. So I think I'm gonna keep it. I think it's still in my closet, unless I got rid of it last year. Again, this is 250 meters. Like, it's the same stats, just different color. And you need 3 to finish the olive top because it's super patterned. It's a pattern that eats up more yarn than 2x2 rib. So yeah. If I stitch, does it look like I'm not wearing anything underneath? But yeah, it's like a good V-neck. And the back is actually really open too, so I love that. I also have this linen cotton blend, and the beige ones, that's actually in the color linen, which is confusing because this is also a linen cotton blend. So how should you have color called linen and linen? Anyways, that's beside the point. This is a fingering weight cotton linen blend. It's chained, so it's like more breathable, I guess. Even though linen and cotton is breathable. And the cotton they use is Pima cotton, so it's a really soft type of cotton with longer staple lengths. But yeah, in the beige color, I was supposed to make this as an olive top, but my cousin expressed her desire for a nice top because when she saw this one, she was like, can I have that too, or can I model it for you? I'm just like, I mean, I could just make you one, but I don't know if she would even like it in a tan beige color. Because I was planning on making the olive top with this. And I got 5 because that's the yardage or the meterage that the olive top requires, but if I have extra, I'll probably make my cousin a camisole number 4. Did I say this is camisole number 4? Gosh, I'm forgetting everything. But yeah, this is camisole number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I mean, I also mentioned it in my last podcast, episode 6. And I'm putting the blush on hold for what's it called? asa-no-ha pattern that I talked about for like 3 or 4 episodes already, I think. It's a color work pattern and it's supposed to be steeked, but I can't steek linen because A, I don't have a sewing machine, and B, because I can't needle felt this because it's not a feltable yarn. It's cotton and linen. They're like not feltable at all. So, and the other yarns that I'm planning to use with this are also non-feltable yarns, which is like silk and linen. Like those aren't feltable. And I still need to get the main color for that. I was gonna get the undyed lindy chain base for the base color. So this would be like the contrast color, or like the dominant color, if you know like color work terms. But yeah, I would have to learn how to do, what do you call it, continental knitting, because it looks the easiest way to do color work, stranded knitting. So I mean, I kind of know how to do continental, but to do it 2 strands, I think is gonna be a chore. And yeah, I mean, you always start with a swatch for color work because you don't know if you need to size up or down your needles. So yeah, unless you do a lot of color work and you know how to, you know, or you know your like habits, I guess, or you know your stitch, how your stuff comes out, then you're golden. My throat hurts because I've been talking so much. And I feel like I put a lot of useless information in this episode, and I like ranted on and on about like weird things. I think that's just my personal habit. Oh yeah, and one thing about the Pavlova, sorry for like bouncing around projects and stuff, but like one thing about the Pavlova pullover, because I don't want my floats to get crossed like I did in the first one. I don't know if you can see that, but in my very first float, after the first row, I like accidentally went over that float. And if you like catch a float like that, it usually what do you call it? I forget. But sometimes it makes it tighter and like less stretchy. So I wanted it to be more stretchy, so I purposely didn't catch it the every row after that. So but because of that, because I don't want to catch it at all, or catch that float ever, because all the other ones aren't caught, so it would be weird. It would look weird if that's the only raglan that gets caught. But because of that, I would have to, what do you call it? Like put, like it gets wrapped around each other like all the time. So then you'd have to like put it around. I don't know. What am I even saying? But yeah. So it can get tangled because of that. Like the same problem in Antarctica, it can get tangled. So you have to be careful of that if you don't want to catch your float on the raglan. But it's not really that big of a problem. And then here's my beginning of the round marker. I mean, it's such an enjoyable knit because, oh, and I just pull the float because I am lazy and don't want to put my finger there. Like you can catch a float like this, or stretch a float like that, and then let go after you made your knit stitch. But I mean, I don't care too much about that, and I don't really like stretch out my stitches all that much, and maybe that's why it's 19 stitches instead of 17 stitch gauge. I also haven't counted the rows yet, so whatever. I mean, it's kind of whatever. So maybe it tightens a little too much, but it's oversized, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And the fabric that it makes is stretching, even if the yarns you use aren't stretchy, because actually you're supposed to use Surrey silk, so like an alpaca silk blend, so it'd be like more like a mohair, where the mohair is like 70% or something, and the silk is like 20%, and it's like super fluffy. So yeah, that's the Pavlova pullover. Ever since I saw it, because I saw it on our Knits and Pearls podcast, and I was like, ooh, that looks so fluffy and so nice. I want to make that. And yeah, and now I'm making it, so, and actually, it took me a while to get the yarns too, because I was like, I don't even know what yarns to use with it, because I would have to buy all of it, which I did, and coincidentally, I found the perfect yarn for it on colourmart. I was thinking of using blue sky fibers. They're like lemonade color as the base, or maybe the white color as the base. I think it's called marshmallow or something. I'm not exactly sure. I may be using the blue silk mohair, or not silk mohair, their Surrey silk as the blue one as the contrast color. But I was like, that's really expensive, because it's like, I don't know, like $14 each skein. I mean, you don't need that many skeins for this project. I think 4 or 5 skeins. No, even less. Maybe 3 to 4 skeins of the main color, and then 2 skeins, I think, for contrast. Is that right? I'm not even sure. But Aro said that she used only 2 skeins of mohair, and she tripled it. So that's pretty interesting. But she used the contrast color as, or the mohair as a contrast color. And she used blue sky fibers for the main color, because she already had everything on hand. Because she has a huge stash. But yeah, some people's stashes I find is like pretty common to have a huge stash, because they like to purchase beautiful yarn, and I understand, because I wish I could justify purchasing that much yarn. But I'm still new in the game, but I still have too much yarn, I think, because after you have made something, or after you like finish a project, sometimes you have way too much left over. But like, I bought the amount that was recommended, so what am I supposed to do with it? It's been too long, so I can't return it, and but I mostly buy my yarns online, so I usually can't return it anyways, because I usually buy it from small sellers or in a country that is like too far away to send it back to, like the UK. And I find that actually the UK has so much affordable yarns, but because the postage and stuff, it becomes more expensive, but still cheaper than local yarn or yarn that I can get locally. And for some reason, I think starting last year, one of the yarn stores in my area started selling tuku wool, but I'm still hesitant to get it because it's a rustic yarn and there's a chance that I won't be able to use it. Like with this. Like, it would have to be a pattern that's not a turtleneck. Like, how many patterns do I like that's not a turtleneck? Like, there's not that many, you know? And I guess I would have to use it as fingering weight, even though it was supposed to be a DK. So yeah. Actually, I find that a lot of yarns on colourmart are thinner when you get it in person. Like the linen as well, it's like lace weight, even though it was marketed as a 4-ply. And maybe in the machine knitting world, it is technically a 4-ply or something, but I don't know how they grade it, because it's all like estimation, like the 4-ply, 3-ply, and like DK, fingering, all of that is estimation. There's no exact science to it. There's no cutoff limit. So it's just that with more experience, you can kind of estimate the thickness of the yarn. And I assume they're experienced because colourmart has been open since I was born. So it's as old as me. Like, that's kind of old. They've been in the industry for a long time. So yeah. Maybe it's just different. Okay, I think that's enough for this episode of the knitting podcast. Yarnquisitions. I didn't get any yarn though this time because over the past week I've been kind of guilty over purchasing so many yarn. And like you obviously can't work fast enough to get rid of it or use it. So yeah. It's like a mini yarn crisis. Like you have too much but not enough. Like you don't have enough to like make the thing you want, but you have too much because you don't have projects for it, for some of the yarn that you have purchased. But yeah, I know some people, like, they don't really worry about that. Just get yarn they like and then worry about the what to use it for later. But that's only if you have it in smaller quantity, then you don't have to really worry about it. And I watch a lot of, well, it's not a lot, but I do watch quite a bit of knitting podcasts. So I follow Aro Knits and Pearls on YouTube and Instagram, Knitting Traditions, Korea Bear, Crea Bea podcast. Who else? Tiffany Leo, Typical Bliss. Or I guess her podcast is called Tiffany's Yarn Corner. And then Kopi Kelly. I mean, I think everybody follows them. And then, and she just started her podcast. She's on episode 2, which I'm planning on watching today. And let's see what Love Knits. She's supposed to come out with a knit and chat, I think, or something like that. She said that she messed up and she has to rip back. So I definitely, empathize with that, because I did the exact same thing. Did like part of a row, and then realized I messed up. Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, I don't mess up this time, because I've been knitting and talking for like a bit, but I've been knitting like super slow, so hopefully I don't mess up. Am I doing the wrong row? I don't think so, because I think I did the correct one. And all my yarns everywhere. Oof. So, yeah. Oh, I'm almost done with the row. Because this is the beginning, and this is where I'm at. There's only a shoulder left. Hope you guys are staying hydrated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.